My husband is a pastor of Beacon Baptist Church. We've been there for 17 years. I have tried to do that in 17 years. Probably the closest I came to being able to do that was the ladies' Bible study that I conducted for years. It was a small group and everyone was pretty intimate and so could talk openly. I encountered some frustration though when I would teach on this weekly basis, but the people that I was working with came to depend on me to do that work for them. They weren't able to do it themselves. And so it was really frustrating because I didn't have I didn't feel like I had a way to communicate with them how they could come to those same conclusions in their own Bible study. I also encountered difficulty when they talk about you need to train someone to take your place so that you're not always doing everything. And you try really hard to do that, but if you can't communicate to someone how they can come to the same conclusions, they always feel intimidated, like they can't do as good a job at doing Bible study or leading other people in Bible study. And so I couldn't replace myself. When I was trying to do it before, I would write my own Bible studies in an attempt to get them to do the work. And so I would ask questions to get them to the application. This doesn't do that. This starts at observation. We need to look at the whole picture of what's going on in this passage. Then we do interpretation, where we look up any terms, we look up any ideas that we might not understand completely or might be a different definition in the Greek or Hebrew, and then you go to application. And me, just like most Bible study book writers, would ask questions to get people to the application first, without all the observation and interpretation to substantiate the meaning, to make it real and understandable. You think about it. What do you do when someone's struggling and they're sitting there talking to you and you go read this passage? Oh, okay. It doesn't become real to them unless they understand what they're reading. In fact, a couple of my disciples who have been Christians for a very long time and have children and families, like in the early teens and teenage years. We're not talking about new parents here. And they're like, I'm tired of reading the Bible and it not making sense to me. So now it makes sense. We were studying about how the Bible is relevant to us. And they were like, the Bible is everything we need. This scripture says the Bible is everything we need for doctrine, for reproof, for correction, for instruction in righteousness. And it doesn't even make sense to me. I'm so ready for it to make sense to me so that I can use it on a daily basis. My Monday night group is my group that has two moms of teens and one career person with no children. Then on Tuesday or Thursday mornings, just depends, I have two older ladies that I meet with that are retired. And then on Tuesday night, I have a student who is in a PhD program. So she's young and no kids, but married. On Thursday evening, I have a group of 4 that is kind of a mixed group. They're all in the same age, like in their 20s, mid-20s probably. One has a brand new baby. One is a single mom of 3 boys. One is a lady in her 30s that's fixing to get married, and the other one is a PhD student at A&M. So it's kind of a really good mix of people. Yes, definitely. I forgot, I also have a teenage girl that I do one-on-one with, and that works with her too. So yeah, I really do think it works. My older ladies were a little nervous because it requires memorizing. And they were like, I can't even remember what I ate for breakfast this morning. But they did just fine. I said, that's okay, don't worry about it, just do your best. The point is that you have scripture in your heart and you understand what it says. so that you can live by it and use it on a daily basis. And they were like, okay. So they did. The first week they came back and they had their scriptures memorized and they had no problem. It's a tool that you have to show someone. It's not something you can go pick up. It's not some self-help book. It's scripture. It's alive and it's powerful. And unless you experience it with someone, it won't work. Because I can pick up the questions and I can go through the questions and answer them. But if I'm experiencing the Bible coming alive in someone else's life, then it lights a fire not only in them, but in me too.